The war in Ukraine has brought grief to everyone and hope to the survivors. But there is a category of soldiers who live in complete and utter hopelessness. 1/3 of the severely wounded soldiers have lost and are losing their limbs right now. These amputees cannot even go to the toilet on their own, and at home they see the frightened eyes of their families and are overwhelmed by post-traumatic stress disorder.
Виникає проблема
There is a moral and psychological problem when a fighter doesn't understand why this is so, and the accumulation of these small problems, point problems, creates a global rejection of oneself in this world, and in fact, the reaction of a seriously wounded person is an aching nerve.
Важкого пораненого – це оголений нерв.
A combat medic, a doctor who has been working on the front line and even in the gray zone of combat operations for many years, says that many people suffer a mental breakdown in the period between treatment in a hospital and receiving a prosthesis.
Хтось просто залишається вдома,
And someone just stays at home, lying alone, begins to gain weight, the stump changes its shape, whereas processes occur that delay the rehabilitation process.
затримують оцей процес реабілітації.
The state is doing everything possible. It provides prosthesis to soldiers for free, and rehabilitation centers teach the injured to live with implants and become full-fledged members of society. But all these efforts are hampered by one circumstance: waiting lists. In every rehabilitation center in Ukraine, the queues for treatment and free prosthesis are incredibly long, and people have to wait for months and often more than a year to receive their prosthesis. And there's currently no solution to this problem.
Чого нам не вистачає?
What do we lack? We lack free temporary mechanical prostheses. We have our own production facilities, but again, there are long waiting lists. The demand is very high.
Попит дуже великий.
The fighters say that if my future prosthesis was already at my bedside in the hospital, I would feel better and calmer. It would be the personification of my hope for recovery and a full life. But there is a problem with prosthesis in Ukraine. In peacetime, our country did not have even a tenth of the number of amputees that it has now, so we can only hope for help from abroad. Our doctors also rely on the extremely important experience of their European colleagues.
The new prosthetics, also integrative prosthetics, is the implantation of the implant into the bone. We had the first such operation in Lviv only in April. In fact, there are no specialists who would do it on the stream.
Ukraine really needs help from Europe. In fact, we will be glad to receive any assistance in this matter. Medical equipment, special vehicles for transporting wheelchairs, prosthesis, and treatment of our guys abroad. And training of our doctors by European specialists will be invaluable.